Welcome to Caribbean Global Network News and Sports. I am Scott Wilson. In today's headlines, Jamaican policemen injured in shootout, and in sports, Shai Hope, one of the top batsmen in the world. Dexter Pottinger's killer sentenced to 12 years imprisonment, family not happy. The man convicted of murder of popular fashion designer Dexter Pottinger, 23-year-old Romario Brown, has been sentenced to 12 years imprisonment. Brown was also sentenced to 4 years imprisonment for larceny of a motor vehicle and 1 year for simple larceny. The sentences will run concurrently. The verdict, however, has left a bitter taste in the mouth of Dexter Pottinger's relatives. His sister, Tashan Adams, in an interview with the Gleaner following the sentencing, said the killer's story did not add up. Recalling his testimony that he stabbed Pottinger out on the balcony and he ran inside the house, Adams said she was the one who cleaned up the murder scene and there was no blood out there. She said the family still has many questions yet to be answered. In a caution statement to the police shortly after his arrest, Brown admitted to stabbing Pottinger several times. A post-mortem later showed he was stabbed 25 times. Brown told the police that when at the fashion designer's house on the date in question, Pottinger appeared before him naked. He claimed he did not know Pottinger was gay and was caught off guard, hence his reason for stabbing him. After the fashion designer's body was found, a flat-screen television, a watch, and Pottinger's Honda CR-V motor vehicle were discovered missing from the house. Brown admitted to stealing these items and led police to their recovery after he was arrested. Jamaica signs MOU to train critical care nurses in UK. 13 critical care nurses will now have the opportunity to be trained in the UK, all due to a memorandum of understanding that was signed by the government of Jamaica through the Ministry of Health and Wellness and the government of the United Kingdom. The MOU was officially signed by Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton and Chief Medical Officer of the UK and Northern Ireland, Professor Sally Davies, at the Health Assembly in Geneva, Switzerland on Thursday, May 23. Come June, the nurses will be trained at the highest standard. Commenting on the agreement, Tufton said the program doesn't exist anywhere else in the world where international nurses are engaged in a training program to overcome the challenge of faculty and clinical spaces. Policemen injured in shootout in Maypen. 2 policemen attached to the Maypen police station were shot and injured during a confrontation with armed robbers along Main Street in Maypen, Clarendon on Sunday morning. The sergeant and constable are now receiving treatment at hospital. The constable reportedly received gunshot injuries to the face and shoulder, while the sergeant was shot in the abdomen and buttocks. Reports are that about 9:20 a.m., the lawmen challenged men armed with high-powered weapons traveling in 2 cars in the vicinity of Guinnep Tree in Clarendon capital. The gunmen opened fire at the policemen who were hit. The service vehicle was also damaged. One of the getaway vehicles, a white Toyota Probox, later crashed along Howard Avenue. It is not clear if any of the gunmen were captured. Unconfirmed reports are that a woman of Chinese descent was also abducted by the gunmen, who were said to be on a robbery spree in the parish capital. A video of the incident is now circulating on social media. And in sport, Jamaican football juggling maestro shot dead. The Jamaican football fraternity is mourning the death of football pioneer Gordon Meehan Phillips, popularly known as Gaga or Gorgon. Meehan Phillips was shot and killed by armed intruders at his business establishment at Tarrant Drive in the corporate area late last week. Meehan Phillips, who lived at his place of business, reportedly heard strange sounds and went to investigate. He apparently surprised the robbers, who shot him several times before escaping. The late footballer was said to be a master juggler who started as an attacking midfielder for the Bob Marley-sponsored football team House of Dread in the 1970s. He represented the 12 tribes of Israel, where he's known as Zebulun in midfield. He later quit playing and instead engaged in juggling the ball, wowing football fans during halftime of international games. The police have confirmed the murder of the local footballing legend. Shai Hope is one of the top 5 batsmen in the world. Cricketer Shai Hope has jumped 5 places to enter the top 5 of the MRF Tires ICC ODI rankings for batting after his superb performances in the recent Tri-Nation Series in Ireland. The West Indian batsman now has a career-best points tally of 808 and sits at number 4 in the batting rankings. Captain of the team, Jason Holder, said Shai could become Barbados' greatest ODI cricketer of all time. He described the talented Shai as one of the country's most consistent players over the last 2 years and said if he continues on that path, he could be arguably one of our best ODI players to ever play. Dwayne Bravo shocked by Samuels Snub. The West Indies panel of selectors have made their choice, and 30-year-old Jamaican veteran cricketer Marlon Samuels is not on the list for the upcoming ICC Cricket World Cup. Seasoned all-rounder Dwayne Bravo thinks that it was an error on the selectors' part in overlooking Samuels. Bravo admits to being even more surprised at the fact that the Robert Haynes-led selection panel did not include Samuels on the 10-man reserve list announced last week. Bravo, in giving support for the Jamaican, pointed out that Samuels was there for the team throughout the playoffs, World Cup qualifiers, and in a series after the team had qualified. He insisted that Samuels should have been picked to be part of the squad. Bravo said Samuels did enough to be a part of the 15-man squad to England, as it would have been his last World Cup. Samuels was instrumental in helping the West Indies to secure their World Cup berth last March in Zimbabwe, scoring 231 runs at an average of 33 as the Caribbean side reached the finals of the qualifying tournament. Bravo said the Jamaicans' exclusion raised questions over the selection process. The team is now in England preparing for the World Cup, where they face Pakistan in their opening match at Trent Bridge in Nottingham on Friday. That's it for your CGN News and Sports. I am Scott Wilson. Pleasant viewing.